Can you bear to wear the guilty crown? So I've been very excited to do this review of the series. As you say, I'm doing Guilty Crown, and this will include the series and the Lost Christmas OVA. Although one of the other OVAs was just like a 40-minute recap of episode 1 to 10, so there's nothing really to talk about that. But what a series, everyone! This series, if you don't know, it's an action, sci-fi, fantasy, romance, tragedy. It's got everything for everyone. But the series takes place in like Tokyo about 20 years from now, after an outbreak of an unidentified virus, named the Apocalypse virus, and during the events of Lost Christmas a couple of years ago, it basically completely nearly destroyed Japan, where they cannot even support themselves financially or like even productively. So a group known as the GHQ, I believe, took over and decided to take over Japan and make sure it's like a fully quarantined zone. And our story takes place like sort of 10 years after the Lost Christmas event with Omashu. Now, Omashu is a bit of a pussy, like at the start, but trust me, you will get to love this guy later on in the series. But one day he meets this in this hideout, this girl named Yuzihira Minori, who is a vocalist that exists, and well, she, it happens to be that Shu is one of the biggest fans, and finds out later on that she's from a part of the resistance group named Funeral Parlor, run by a man named Guy, who is completely badass, may I tell you, and he wind up getting into a mission where he's got to protect a thing known as a void, which unfortunately gets broken, and it ends up giving Shu the king's power, which allows him to pull voids out of people, which is like their souls. And as he does it on Inori on the first episode, it basically pulls out a ginormous like sword that is just completely destroyed. This story has action, mechas, romance, sadness that gives you the feels. It has everything you want in this series. Now, I found it very hard to do this review since there are so many things I want to say because it's so great with a lot of the scenes, but unfortunately they are very spoilerific, so I recommend not really to go and check anything up on the series, since when I did search up, there were a lot of, revealing moments that would make you jaw dropped and, gasping, so I really would not recommend looking it over. But yeah, but also as well, like, I cried 2 times in this series, and both of them were in season 2, which everyone seems to hate, because, like, due to the reason that apparently the director's changed, which I searched up personally myself. I couldn't find anything on it. But now, I'll just say as well, season 1 is a fucking amazing, practically nearly perfect, and it could have just ended the story on that season. But season 2, actually, although, like, not as great, I can even say that myself, it still doesn't get over the greatness of season 1. It's still amazing, and it's the one that made me cry twice to that. But I still couldn't find anything on the director changing, and although I think another reason is, which I'm not going to say, is something happens to some characters later on in the series, like, especially the main character, as he sort of does a 180. That's all I can really say about that, without going too much into spoilers. Now, this series is directed by the same guy who did Death Note, and everyone's current favourite, Attack on Titan. So yeah, you people might enjoy this a little bit, due to he's doing some amazing series at the moment. And also as well, another reason to check out this thing is the soundtrack. The soundtrack is fucking amazing. It's so worth it to hear these tracks while they're playing. Some that will get you pumped up and emotional. I can rest assured that once you hear like the first episode soundtrack, or I might even send some links down below, I'm pretty sure you will get hyped there. And also as well, the openings and endings of this series. I think I'm already jizzing already, people. It's like I can't hold it in. But opening 1 and 2, great. Ending, well, I personally, I like ending 2 a lot. Ending 1 is probably my least favorite out of all 4 songs, but not to mention, well, you got some own separate songs. His main girl, Inori, sings quite a bit throughout the series. And overall, like, my favorite parts of this series was definitely the development between Shu and Inori, as the series does both character progression and story development so well. I'd say hands down, and I'm admitting this right now, and I'm probably going to be an idiot for this, hands down, this is my favourite short action series I've ever seen. It's got everything I want to see in an anime, like, but unfortunately, probably until Attack on Titan, this is probably my favourite because it's done by the same guy. But I definitely give this series a 9.5 out of 10. Only problems I had with the series is that I wanted some, like, just some minor characters to be fleshed out a little more, and not to mention, for some people, it may be hard to, like, keep attention to the series, as there's a lot of things going on in the dialogue. You have to look carefully into the dialogue, otherwise you won't be able to understand it. But I say you could either wait for the release, because I believe it's coming out later series, or you could just be like a freaking little impatient bitch like me, and you just watch it straight away. But also as well, to talk about the Lost Christmas OVA, it was only a 15-minute little OVA about a little side story. I don't really want to talk much into it, but it's fleshed out a few characters that I actually wanted to see fleshed out. And it was sort of like just a nice little backstory. And it was alright. It was alright, but it wasn't, you know, like the amazing OVA that I was expecting it to be. But you know, you can still watch the series without watching the OVA. It's still like okay. It's just that if you just want to see more Guilty Crown, that's all it is there for. But that is all it for my review. I probably bullsed up all the way through. Yay! But let me know in the comment section below what you thought of Guilty Crown. If you haven't checked it out, then a shame on you. I'm probably going to link down below some of the soundtracks and maybe when it opens. Don't worry, the openings or endings do not spoil anything about the series. But please do not search up anything on Guilty Crown. I'm pretty sure that you'll be spoiled on something. But that's all from me, everyone. So thank you very much for watching. Remember, strike like a panda, sign out, and I'll see you next time.